also now have new developments in the case against
Hello, everyone. It's Charlton.
Frazee is now facing 2 first-degree murder charges for the death of his fiancee, Kelsey Berreth.
So, I want to update you on the Kelsey Berreth case and everything that I've learned about in the last few days. And I've watched a fair amount of reporting on this. I have on Fox and online. And here is the district attorney who speaks to reporters. The district attorney and his co-counsel speaks to reporters for like 17 minutes, basically detailing what's going on and revealing as much as they possibly can. And that's the co-counsel, and that's the district attorney, as I understand it, and also taking some questions. So I think it's fairly well known. There's 5 charges right now. I'm just going to do my best to go through it, but there's quite a bit going on here, and this could get even more, definitely more, could go in various directions based on the charges. There's 5 charges, 2 murder charges, and 3 solicitation charges. It's fairly well known. Okay, the 2 apparently, according to the district attorney in Colorado, you have to file a separate charge for each theory that you have in the case. It's unusual, I guess, but I don't know. That's the law. And so one theory is a deliberation murder charge, which basically says it's just a premeditated first-degree murder. The other is a felony murder charge where they believe there was some kind of attempted robbery that led to the murder of Kelsey Berreth, and that's the second charge. And those are the 2 theories. Now, there's 3 different solicitation charges, but he does stipulate in this press conference, and he's pressed on this over and over, but he tells you right up front that those are not 3 different theories. They are 3 separate solicitation charges, and then he's then asked later in the press conference, does that mean we're talking about 3 different individuals that were, and by solicitation, the concept is that he was seeking somebody to assist in killing his wife. That's the charge, solicitation to kill his wife. But the question was it 3 different persons that he solicited, or was, and I'm just doing some of my own asking, was it just 3 different occasions, from the same individual, and I don't know what the law is. If you were doing that solicitation and from the same individual on 3 different instances, would that warrant 3 different individual charges? I don't know, but I will say that it says from, for some reason, and I believe that CBS, did I drop that? No, it's right here. Listed the charges as they appear in the court documents. For some reason, they're staggered. So it's the murder in the first degree, and this is actually the deliberation murder charge, where it's just deliberative murder with no no attempted robbery, and then a solicitation charge, then another murder charge in the first degree, and this is the one where there was the attempted to commit robbery, and in the course of or in furtherance of that crime, or in the immediate fight therefrom, the death of Kelsey Berreth, a person other than one of the participants, was caused by anyone. So, but basically, that was the second murder charge, and then 2 more solicitation charges. So it's murder charge, solicitation charge, murder charge, solicitation charge. I don't know if that's significant or not, when they're listed in that fashion or what. But again, he specifically says that the 3 solicitation charges, not to belabor the point, are not theoretical. They're each one individual solicitation charges. They're not for separate theories, even though they're staggered between the 2 different theories of the murder charges, if you followed me. So in this press conference, the co-counsel then goes on to tell you that there's significant court dates that are coming up. One is Friday, and the other is the 29th. And Friday, they're gonna discuss the terms of some consumptive test that they need to do. And by consumptive, they spoke about this at length on Fox today, a legal analyst, and they speak about it at length in this press conference. Basically, they're going to do some kind of test on evidence that when they do that test, after they do it, the material they're testing will be consumed. And so they won't be able to have it as evidence ever again. And so in order to proceed with that test, they need to, the defense attorneys have to be present. They have to have their experts there witnessing the test, being, proving all the the conditions of it and so forth. Because once that test is done, the evidence is gone. And now the person who was on Fox, I forget her name, the legal analyst, was presenting a number of different possibilities of what that could mean. I mean, there was the idea about the like the cinnamon rolls or something that were found in her home, and and it's believed by the police she was murdered in her home. Were left on the counter or on the kitchen table cold after they had just been taken out of the oven. Now, is that something that's going to be part of that consumptive test? We have no idea. I mean, it could be something that's edible, that after they test it because of poison, or it could be just something that's so small that there's only a limited amount of material, and they're testing it for DNA. And once they do that, there's not more to test the second time. I mean, she even said, is it something that's explosive that, after you actually determine whether you exploded, it's gone, you'll never have it again, But I definitely, the fact that the cinnamon buns were, they were something that was mentioned early on in this because it was unusual. She disappeared, and there they are, in her home, and there's nothing missing from her home other than her purse and her phone and her person. But on the counter or the kitchen table were some cinnamon buns that she has just recently cooked, So is there something in there that's poison? They're testing to see if it's poison. We don't know. Also, what is going to be determined on that Friday court appearance is they're going to talk about the sealed probable cause affidavit. And now there's the arrest warrant and the probable cause warrant. And I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand these things perfectly. But the probable cause warrant, I think, has more information in there in terms of the leads and the directions they're taking the investigation. And they don't want that unsealed. And even if they have to turn that over to the defense attorneys, they're willing to do that, but they do not want Patrick Frazee himself seeing the probable cause warrant because of, they're worried about him discussing it with potential witnesses and whoever might also be involved and whoever might be behind these other solicitation charges, if in fact it is more than one person, or what. The legal, I'm sorry, I just keep going back and forth, but the legal analysts on Fox also discussed that it very well, it could be that, that whoever may have been helping in this and whoever's part of those solicitation charges is cooperating with authorities, but we don't know that. I don't know that we're going to know that for some time. We'll see. On the January 29th court appearance is a preliminary hearing, at which case, basically they kind of have to put some meat to the bone, as I understand it. I mean, even they were asked about this. How long can you continue to hold him without bond, without basically, showing him what the charges are, showing him what's behind what's in the probable cause, affidavit, search warrant, and so forth. So I think a lot of this will come to a head on that January 29th preliminary hearing, where they something about holdover on the charges. They basically are putting the charges out there, and they're ready to proceed at that point. There's literally going to be witnesses at that preliminary hearing and so forth. I mean, I'm not doing the greatest job of describing that, but that's kind of where we are. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's also, I think on Thursday, there's another additional custody hearing. I think after the parents of Kelsey Berreth were awarded custody of the child, of the 1-year-old daughter, I think the grandmother on the other side, the paternal grandmother, I think her name is Leslie Frazee, I want to say, his mom, who was briefly detained early in this this investigation. She wasn't arrested or charged, but she was detained and spoken to and then released. I think she's fighting for custody herself, but and there's a hearing on Thursday over that. Again, the legal analyst on Fox didn't seem to think that the judge would be too inclined to hand that child over to the father's mother at this stage, and I tend to agree. She was in court on today. Or yesterday, Monday. And Monday they did show the Patrick Frazee's son. I think the arrest warrant, not the probable cause warrant, but again, I think the prosecutors did want, or at least showed his attorneys, the public defender. So, that's that's kind of where we are. I think everybody, among many things, but who are behind those solicitation charges, and is it more than one person? I don't know, and that's where I'm saying this could go in a lot of different directions and could get even quite bigger than where. I mean, it's a horrible, tragic situation to begin with, but I think this has got a long way to go. It does, man. I do, and we'll see. I'd say that is the story there for now. That is the story there. All right, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.